Hi, atoolred. Here's to sum it up, the couple of videos which I've been making on topics as well as those excerpts on land registry. This is say, if I just let you know, in 87, that my father and my parents, they were in the military. So they had a property. My father had a property right from childhood when he was. He just joined the army. He gave him a property. He gave him 2-3 properties because he's from the royal family. So he finances education and finances how they do that. The government is not such a hardcore sadist Shylock as it seems to be. So to finance them throughout. That's why he became a general and living a good life. He had excellent food all his life. So he was also an international figure, But the fact is that he had this plot of land plus 2-3 other plot of lands. So in 1987, he had become so sophisticated throughout his career, he'd become a general. So we were in Delhi. So they asked him, there was a scheme, which was launched, of a registry scheme, that is of accommodation of allottees, of elite government as well as other of his batch, so that they could remain over here, as well as they needed people over here so that they can service the younger generation, so that the whole thing doesn't collapse. So he agreed. So he sold off one plot and bought and paid one. So that was the allotee fees. And then he paid the registration fees. They said they'll announce the registration later on. And before that he asked me, do you want to come? I said, yeah, I will. So he said, okay, then we'll sign in. So because he had to note down before coming here that whether they will, there will be accompaniment or not in this place. So I took possession since I was a ward. I'm his son, eldest son. So I took possession in 1988. I came, stayed overnight. I had to look at the whole place. Then I went back, and then we went to Bangalore for another extension to do his service, you see. So his last posting. So over there I docked into some kind of magic land and magic garden, developed a lot of magic tricks and magic. There are a lot of magic shows going on there. Magic seems to be the only, solace in India. So I also got a quick land paper on magic garden too. So then we came back and then we settled here and docked in 1990. That is the fall of after USSR became Russia, Berlin Wall came down, and there were a lot of changes. So we stayed on here, and then they say that in the past registries, nobody has been able to, go past. This registry has been going on from the first day of Earth, and nobody could take it. There's been one registry which is called _NL on Instagram, of a raw land registry, very old. So this is, and only one was successful, so far documented on Instagram. And then PATA Instagram. PATA is very important for a permanent memory and records. They say this guy is always, he comes and takes over immediately. It's like the link I told you, it is unfailable. So, and this one is land registry, freehold, where everything belongs to you, whatever on the property, 88 hectares. So this belongs to the factors that nobody could stay more than 2-3 weeks, they died or they were, something or the other happened. And so it's been going on century by century, and they say that they're waiting for the monarch to come and take it over here. He's the only one who could take this registry. So by the way, I've taken it on. I stayed here for 38 years now. And all the papers are complete. So these papers justify that I know what I'm doing and that I've completed this. Plus, what happened in 1997, after we took possession in 1997, they called us for registry. There we went to the registry office, and I had to, at 37, I had to sign in the register of land register records. Plus I also signed on a $100 note of the Reserve Bank of India, which he said later on will be upgraded to my account. And that all fees and everything has been paid for. All dues are clear, and I have no, you see, we have no pending work at all. And so we came back, and after that we've been living here. There is no what do you call it, hindrance after that. We used to just pay our electricity bill and our water bill. So they said even that if you get registered, even that will you get freehold of the land. Until 1997, we were paying rent. You see, not rent. Sorry, we were paying installments for this land and registry. So that also got cancelled after that. Then in between, my parents died, and then I was left here. Then I had to continue. They also thought that I would, vacate, but I didn't. I decided to take it on. And in 2025, they said the handover happens after your retirement. That is 58 from the government. And that's why they said that the government does a lot for you, and if you can give it back to the government, the good things, the government remembers you and even enhances your performance. So that's how I also became a PATA member, the second one, I guess, on atoolred 5. And so all this was a requirement by land registry records to service understanding on PATA records as well as others, that I know what I'm doing and that I understand what is written on those PATA records, land registry records. These are these are qualifiers. Do I understand what FMG is? I would say, have I been through all these processes? So I had to upload it and explain it to people that I can explain it, which is, you see, they can't get to the registry office. And in the future, if someone asks me, I should be able to present the information that, yeah, I know that, right? So far it's okay, it's all right. And plus then they also asked me about my personal habits, you see, the registry office is not so, it's not so conducive, it's not such a nice, a nice place, because a registry office also it's a government office, so new people come into the registry office. So they also inquire on these tests and these other exams keep going on. And they said there's a confusion right now about handing over, it's at 58 to 60, but it's not been, I don't know, my pension hasn't come in yet. They say the pension will come to the doorstep. That's what they told me, the pension ration, so I have to wait for that. They said even your girlfriends will come to your doorstep. You don't have to go around chasing girls around the place. You don't even have to phone them. So I said, okay. So I'm waiting for the girlfriends, I'm waiting for the ration, I'm waiting for the pension. And the thing is, all this was due to the fact that I had to upload these documents to make them understand that I understand, so there's no communication gap, as well as they should know exactly what they're up for, that how they can deal with it. If they do talk to me, that they should understand that they can recognize me by voice recognition, and they understand that voice as well as speech is a very important aspect of recognition. So far there hasn't been more than 1 or 2 seconds of voice recognition of mine, apart from the couplets on atoolred. So that was also singing basically on with music. Here is this is the first time I'm speaking totally with impromptu and recording it, so that everybody gets to know my total way of speaking, as well as my diction, as well as the other things they only calculate, as well as the accent, exactly, so that I'm not termed as a foreigner, and that I am termed as a person over here with this accent, which has developed over the last 38 years. And I've never been outside this place in 38 years. So this is what the whole thing is about, or rather this is a proof collection of who I am, so that they also have records of their own, I have records of my own. The thing is so elaborately done, it's something of an experience that I have never been able to understand. It just goes in like magic. I have records, they have records, the public has records. I'm going to say that when they collect together, they will say, yeah, that's the guy. There will be no doubt in anybody that this is the guy. So you see, this is what I was doing all this while. So, as well as the fact that these records remain, and okay, this crowd will move on, or just pass on to heaven or hell, wherever they want to go, or in between. They say after you die, you stay on here, and exactly the same memory period. You are like, you're working in an office, you see, you die, the office, your memory of the office remains till they rectify it or whatever, they account for you, either whatever, you may have done something bad or you might have to do some correction or whatever, or till your whole period is over. There's a life expectancy, you see, a lifespan where you have to live a minimum amount of life because the state gives you so much of backing, right? And to let the state down and God matrix is not so good, including your friends. So it's after that they let you go to hell and heaven. So that's what I heard about through these courses I do. So this is what I was doing all this while. And all these topics also are addressed so that, because they're fundamental topics which basically are to correct and rectify exactly if I'm sensitive to these topics or not, and whether they want to know exactly what my mental makeup is and what I am all about, the next generation, so that their next generation is also equipped, and so it goes on, because I'm going to stay in one place. This is the first time a person has stayed in one place for 38 years so far. There has been no documented evidence of a person staying on registry in 38 years after this investiture, you see, with permission. They usually knock you out and send you to some shelter, or they send you to a temple, or they keep traveling. Most of the humans are still traveling species. I'm the first one I haven't been able to get, unless they say I'll be dead over here. I don't go to clinic, everything is done over here itself. Only the food is not to my taste, it's horrible, and I like cooking my own food. A couple of years back I was cooking my own food till these exams started, you know, after 58. The state exam, the State Department exam, and also this state registry exam, which is very difficult actually, very, very tiring, difficult, and very challenging. It's like an alien combat zone. If you come and see this place, it's just like that. The place is infected with enemies. And you have to be very clever, very diplomatic, and you have to be very careful about every move you make. You know, suddenly one move and you'll be dead and gone. You know, walk very carefully. They make me collect stuff from the gate every day, so that they see me every day. Every day I'm documented that I'm alive or not. Anyway, so the thing is, I hope the food improves. I usually get ration as fruits, and food, I would say vegetable fruits, as well as oil and butter, as well as other things, you see. And the fact is, the sweets, I got a benefit from me. For every week I used to get a packet, and suddenly someone else has taken the benefit. That's also existing. I'm not going to prove on that how other people can take my benefit, other people can take my stipends, other people can do that, and I can't retaliate. They say, let's see how you handle it. Let's see if you are elder and you stayed so long and you can take it. I'm very foxed about that. I admit I can't do that, all right? I couldn't get to that. I tried 2 or 3 times, I got a very rude reply, so I just keep to myself. I also, they come home and pick up anything and go away. They should tell me you're registered. Why do I enter your house and do what I want? They steal almost everything. I had millions of worth of jewels, everything is gone. I had 10, 12 bicycles, that's gone. And then I had immense kind of, a CD collection, that's also gone. My computer is bust, my laptop is bust, my mobiles are bust. I have to buy a mobile, you see, and they don't give me a mobile also. My mobile is also, made into like, he assembles it over there at the shop itself. I don't get a mobile. I don't have I've never been respected. They treat me like I'm one of these, guys who's going to give an exam for life. And I don't know, I keep telling them, how long will I be able to, do this? There should be an end. They told me before at the registry time, to my parents also, that it is handed over after the retirement. And I asked him, when is the retirement? He said 60 years, sure shot. Now it's 62 years and about 6 months, I haven't got any news. There's no handover, there is no ceremony, there is nothing, and I'm still waiting for that. Well, basically the handover happens after you get the pension. My father got the pension, my mother also. They were international diplomats, passport holders. And they got pension, they were on pension all their life, relation. I haven't been able to be cleared out. And you see, now they want proof. Because the next generation is coming in. Now how do I tackle this? I'm not supposed to move out. The moment I move out, I could be run down, because it's so expensive to be this kind of person. And anybody would, there are millions of gamblers playing the game over here. So I just can't move out of the house. I can go out, but I don't go too far. I can't go and keep searching for people in organizations and running down, which like we used to do when I was a kid. And most of the time when you give anyone a call, they give you a cold shoulder. I told you, wait at home, I'll meet you at home. Give any female a call, can you help? I told you, wait at home, she'll come at home. I said, okay, I don't have food. I told you, they'll give it at home. Don't go out, they'll give it at home. She said, okay. You see, the very fact that people love testing you, they love testing. You see, all their life they will do anything, but when it comes to an exam and test, everybody's ready. So they tell their children, see man, this is the way you do an exam. See, you failed this way, you failed that way. That develops their processor, you see, the Intel processor, which is so important to their lives. So, as well as the children, that's where the children are impressed that, yeah, I belong to, you see, a modern 21st century family. I'm learning how to process information, which they call analytics, which is anal. Anal, sex lytics. Sexy analytics. Anyway, so you know what anal is anyway. You know what anal sex is. That's what analytics is. And if you see the meaning of analytics, you know, analytics is the search for, it is the process of logical and reasoning thinking. Now, why do you have to call it analytics? That's processing, basically. Why can't you call process reasoning and logic by its name? I don't know, why do you have to call it analytics? So you see, that's a basic problem over here, analytics, and everybody's got a concept brain that they're stuck up somewhere, you know? Yeah, just like dinosaurs. They're stuck up somewhere, and they don't know how to liberate them. They got a lot of, you see, they're in two minds, basically. So, and that's another factor. They're always angry with me. So I don't have that problem. I don't analyze. You see, I analyze. I have no lies on anal, and I just do processing. I do processing on logical and reasoning. So apart from that, they keep on telling me that this is not the way, that's not the way. I said, okay, I have to keep quiet, you know. I haven't been able to practice with anyone else. My speech, my art, my very, you see, the things I want to do. So that's the point, because it hasn't started, and it should have started at 16. That's what they promised me. So they've gone against the promise. And that's the registry department, and that's very, very disheartening. So anyway, and they say it's a dirty business, it's a mafia business, it's this, that. I said, okay, so what can I do? But in the end, you know, you see what's happened, that the very quality of this very quality lifestyle has disappeared. You got the best fashion, you got the best fitting, you got the best kind of cars, you got everything. Only the guy who's handling it, you know, you don't want to meet the guy. And you wouldn't like to have him at home. Yeah, I would like to have him at home. I would like to meet him on the roads also, any of them. And their children today, they want to improve, but they're not being able to improve. Why? The guy says, you got to be like me. You're my sonny, man. You're my daughter. You're my doll. You're my son. You got to be like me. And that's where the whole world is stuck up. So that's the point, you know. So this information was to also clarify that I am this person. So if you find it odd, so it's just like my career, it's also my memory, so that I have at one folder glance, I can prove it to you that this whole thing is me. You know, a lot of people visit me and say, please get out, I want this house, I want to buy this house, and I'll put you here. They give me threats every time, because this data was missing. And now things are more clear and more concise, as well as a summary is in. So this was to summarize exactly what I've been through all this while, and what this whole thing is, and why I've stayed here for 38 years. To everyone, you know, to anyone, even the illiterate will say, yeah, okay, man, I understand it. I understand that the registry. That's why that registry app also, you know, posted excerpts of that. The first one was this raw land registry, which is basically fence registry, which you have like animal husbandry and also having special activities in an open ground, like stadiums, all right? So, which is there in Amsterdam, basically the base is at Amsterdam. And then the other one was this land freehold registry. These are two land registries. The next one is quick land papers, and then is your agricultural land, and then building and residentials. Residential and commercial buildings. So I don't know how that goes. You have to contact. It's already started. So you see the second phase of registry started. The next phase. And that's why you also have a World War III now. Otherwise, you would have had a World War I and World War II again. The same process would have started. You see, the previous registries failed every century, and a new century, a new registry of this very land was supposed to be enacted. The whole file opens, this present file opens. Now this file is closed, and so it's a continuity into a next file, which is very easy. It's streamlined, and the world is in for a very great time period called the New Age. And this new age has been promised right from the beginning, and it's effective from today. I mean, it's right now. So that's what I was doing, and also creating my memory that I have been through this, so that nobody can flip me tomorrow. And if they do tell me something, I have at least to the universe and to the world. You see, I leave memory over here, and I hope that the Holy Spirit of Earth, the God of Earth, and the Holy Matrix, and all the guardian angels will always help me out wherever I am, and give me what I'm due for, and give me my word, and what I have stood for, and also my assets will not be misused. So that's what I'm doing all this while. It may continue for some more time, but it will end, I'm sure. And I hope that my retirement will also end. I'll be also getting my pension, everything will be okay. The girlfriends come home, the ration comes home, the pension comes home, and and the party comes home to Party God Studio. That's another channel of mine on YouTube. You can check it out. Thank you. Here's atoolred 5 on Instagram. Bye. atoolred copyright.